Ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment that you've all been waiting
The time
for.
is nigh.
Let's talk about the San Jose Sharks. Cyn, how do you want to handle this? Do you just want to go, or do you want me to bring up certain aspects and then just have you? What do you think?
Let's tell a story. Let's tell a story. A two-part story where the Canucks come into the Sharks building flying high, and the Sharks have been awful. But guess what? We had a few days rest. The Canucks come out and make the Sharks look like an ECHL team. Again and again and again. And you have it right there. In one game, the Canucks scored more goals than the San Jose Sharks had scored all season, and that was their 10th game.
Yeah.
Or 9th game. So, there's a lot to dissect in that. It sucks getting blown out. It sucks even more getting blown out on your home ice in front of your fans. But, San Jose managed that. In the game, during the 6th goal that Vancouver was scoring, and it was Mikheyev? Doesn't matter who was it. Kakinen, as he slid over to make the save, got clipped in the head by the goal scorer. And as that happened, all the Sharks sadly saunter off the ice after the goal is scored. Kakinen is clearly shaken up. 5 Canucks skaters surrounding him, checking if he's okay. Not a single Shark in sight. After this already happened to Blackwood, and there was zero response from the Sharks. You get blown out 10-1. Your goalie gets run, essentially. There's no response, and you're not checking on a guy who's injured. No one even skated out afterwards, after they can clearly see. Only the trainer came out. It was the most embarrassed I've ever felt as a Sharks fan. Your goalie, who you've left out to dry 6 times over now, got run into on a goal. And no response. After the fact, all the Sharks said, you never saw it. We already talked about this once when Blackwood, we would have done something. We would have had a response. We've talked about this, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to fucking hear that. Kevin LeBanc, look at the replay. He's right there. He watches it happen. And sad boy skates away. Fine. You get the benefit of fucking doubt. All right. Cool. All the interviews afterwards is the most embarrassing loss I've ever experienced as a Sharks fan. We got to get to practice. We got to get back to work. We got to come back and have a response. Next game. You're playing the 6-3-0 Pittsburgh Penguins. What do? You come out in the first period, you're looking to set the tone, you're Anthony Duclair, you shove fucking Erik Karlsson about 20 times and take a penalty, Pens score. But you have a really good first period. You're still down 3-0 though. What the fuck? Why does this keep going wrong? Time for the second period. Are we still pissed? Absolutely not. We are the San Jose Sharks of 2023. And we are defeated already after 20 minutes because we know we haven't scored more than 3 goals in a game. We only did that once. And you just sit back and allow your goaltenders, including Mackenzie Blackwood, who has stood on his head numerous times this season, trying to keep you in fucking games. And you let him get absolutely shelled. What do you say when you've had the 2 most embarrassing losses of your hockey career one after another? Well, Anthony Duclair said not enough people are pissed off, need to be engaged and ready to go from the puck drop. That's all well and good, but maybe also don't take a penalty in the first minute of the game. But I agree, get fucking pissed. I saw Giovanni Smith in that game against the Pens trying to get something going, but they're already up by 5 or 6 every time you tried to fight someone. So yeah, Pens aren't going to fight in that situation. It is the most brutal time to be a Sharks fan Because it's not just like what happens on the ice. It's what happens everywhere. Everyone is loving this, being able to dunk on the Sharks as hard as they are. People saying relegate them. People saying strip their first. Like, make an example of this team that is actively embarrassing the NHL. And in the moment, it's pretty hard to disagree. It's what the fuck are we doing? And you share your thoughts, because I have plenty more to say, but please go.
So the Canucks game, I was able to keep an eye on it during a stream. The Penguins game happened on Saturday. So or Friday or Saturday, I forget. Basically, I wasn't able to catch it. Busy, obviously. And when I saw the score line, I'm like, is that like a meme from before the game to be like, LOL, wouldn't that be funny if it happened again? And then I found out it wasn't a meme. And the Sharks became the first team to allow 10 goals in back-to-back games since the Boston Bruins in December of 1965. Back when goalies didn't know how to use the butterfly because the butterfly wasn't even a concept. They are so much worse than anybody could have imagined. We expected them to be bad. They could be historically bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what to say at this point, you know?
What can you say? You're supposed to get pissed. You're supposed to respond after being blown out in your old building, and you respond by getting blown out in your old building again. And fucking fire Quinn into the sun. I don't understand his coaching logic whatsoever. He's finally, I was going to go rail on him even harder today. I've mentioned numerous times. After the first one, I said, it's pretty negligent to let Quinn keep his job after that, right? Okay, they let him keep his job. You get blown out a bit. Okay, retweet. It's negligent to let Quinn keep his job, right? Like, yeah, we're tanking. Yes, we're rebuilding. But where's the pride? Where's the effort? Where's the quote-unquote competitive grit? That's Greer's thing. All right, we know we're not going to be too good. We're going to bring in guys with competitive grit. Really? You get blown out twice. Fucking, I've been giving shit to the Leafs for being soft and shit like that. Like, what about the Sharks? You guys are still fucking winless. You've at no point in this season have you played like it's 0-0, even when it is 0-0. At no point. Maybe in the first couple games when you didn't know what was going on, but the second that a couple goals get scored against the Sharks, they fold. They completely stop playing as a team. Individuals go out there and they try to make a difference. It's like it's a fucking equal dropping. The second shit starts going wrong, everyone starts just playing by themselves. The fact is, in more games than not, a 21-year-old is your best player. A 7th overall pick from a few years ago, a 21-year-old has been your best player. And finally, he's being given a chance to play with Tomas Hertl. He's been stapled to the hip to Luke Kunin all season. He's finally getting a shot. Thank God. I don't know why it took this to finally get your probably best offensive threat next to Hertl to play with Hertl. But and at this point, I'm like, I'm worried. I'm worried for Eklund. He's 21 years old. He's on the historically shit team. How does he keep his confidence up? How does he keep developing? He should have minimum of 5 extra assists. No one can finish his passes. They can't even receive them half the time. Luke Kunin? I'm surprised when he connects with a fucking Eklund pass. I'm like, holy shit, he got a shot off. He got saved. He shot at the crest, but he didn't fucking miss. And yet, That poor kid. I feel so bad for him. And now you have the whole Philip Zanitas situation. He started off so good. 2 goals. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go, man. And now he's being scratched. Number 1, lol, scratching him over Mike Hoffman. You fucking kidding me, Quinn? Mike Hoffman has been useless. Useless. And you're doing the Rangers thing. You're scratching a guy because he's young instead of a veteran who should fucking know better. Tank Commander Hoffman. Go. You were going to say something.
Philip Zadina agreed to terminate his contract with the Red Wings and forfeit $4.56 million in salary. He has 2 points in 11 games and currently, I believe, still holds the league's worst plus-minus rating with a -14. Betting on yourself can go poorly sometimes. And unfortunately for him, he's ended up in a far worse situation than I think he ever could have imagined.
Yeah. No help. He started on the second line. He scores 2 goals and then inexplicably gets moved to the third, even the fourth on a couple occasions. I fucking hate David Quinn. The man I don't understand why so many coaches seem to hold these rookies to higher standards than veterans. I'll teach you a lesson. I'll move you down to the third or fourth line. Fuck your development. And again, I don't know why Greer is standing by, but I know we don't have this. It just came out before we even started. Greer now taking the bullets. He was the one instead of David Quinn today to get in front of a camera and talk about it. And he's basically, has said, the whole same, a lot of things. Same, sorry to the fans, and we expected to be better than this. We expected to work harder. It's not okay that we're not. And when asked the questions, like, yeah, if this team after this doesn't respond, then I'll have to make some fucking changes. I don't. It should have happened after this last one, but fine. He's finally saying it. You got blown out twice in a row. You should respond after the first one. You can't get blown out twice in a row on home ice. The fans had to sit through that. We were nearly outnumbered against the Penguins, too.
The problem is the idea of, blown out twice in a row. The term blowout isn't even applicable at this stage.
Embarrassed.
I mean, it's just crazy.
We're being looked at as a stat padding night.
Yeah. They are now officially in meme territory, where they are being viewed as, and other teams are clowning by saying oh God, we don't want to be the ones to lose to them. The only solace Sharks fans are finding is hey, well, technically our tandem has a better save percentage than the Oilers tandem. That's it.
That's hilarious. How does that, even after those 2 games?
I believe so. Let me get the fully updated numbers just to be 100% sure, but that was absolutely a thing earlier in the week. You have the Sharks. Mackenzie Blackwood, 879 save percentage.
Oh my God, it fell so much.
With a 4.78 goals against average.
Poor Corona, by the way. He had to get put into that second game. That's his NHL debut. Magnus Corona gets put in against the fucking Penguins because you want to
know what the numbers are?
No, my God, it's got to be 750 and 8 goals against, right?
8 goals against with a 765.
God, I'm so good.
Kaapo Kakkonen, a 4.30 goals against average with an 876 save percentage. So again, an 876 and an 879 for the 2 primary goalies on the Sharks.
Remember when Blackwood had a 907? That was nice.
The Oilers, Jack Campbell with an 873. Stuart Skinner with an 861.
Jesus.
Those are the only type of stats right now that can make Sharks fans feel halfway decent just because of how bad this has been.
I don't, though, because they're going to get the first overall. It's the Oilers. Oh, it's going to be them or Chicago or the Flames, man. We're not getting Celebrini. Not after that display.
Mm. It's just one of those things where it's like, what the hell do you even say at this point in regards to the Sharks? And I don't know the answer aside from just, again, it is so much worse than I think anybody imagined it would be. Those hope spots of, well, maybe Philip Zadina will look okay. Younger guys like Eklund and Bordelot, and now, Bordelot's been sent back down, and, there's just... There's a bad team being bad, and then there's a bad team underperforming. Because they are. They shouldn't be this bad.
No.
And they are just abysmal.
They're horrible. And it's not just that the roster construction's bad. It's that, like I said, there's zero going for them right now. And they're doing nothing to get themselves out of it. It feels like, oh, we had a good practice and shit. And then you come out and lay another egg. Like, we had a positive practice. We had this. So I get it. It's a mental fucking battle, but like, I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm in that situation, like, I can't. In the Vancouver game, there was a fight, but it was someone responding to Kunin doing bullshit. He cross-checked Giuseppe, and Giuseppe's like, nope. And then, like, I'm pretty sure Kunin turtled. So fucking lol to that too. And why is Kunin the fighter?
I thought
he has more fights than anyone on the Sharks. He has 2. Kyle Burns fought once, and he did good.
Dude, Giovanni Smith doesn't... Like, Giovanni Smith fights
He
quite
should.
a bit.
He hasn't yet. And I've missed something, but I don't think I have. He's tried to on a couple occasions, but you're already down 6-0. No one's going to fight 6-1, whatever the fuck it was. I don't care. It's like there's no pride. And I felt that at times in the past when this sort of thing started, when the Sharks were like, fuck yeah, we got Karlsson, we're stacking this shit. And then they weren't getting the results. And you sort of saw some of that culture coming in. Karlsson getting lit up, Kane doing nothing about it. And now multiple times where your goalie has been run and there's zero response. And you already talked about it once.
I don't know what to add at this stage, right? It's like, what the problem is, right? Like, every team, you have that the fan base has the thought of like, okay, at least give us something to think about if we're gonna be bad.
Yeah, there's nothing. Like, and what are you selling?
Almost, yeah, exactly. Like, almost every direction for the Sharks, where it's like, well, this could at least be decent. So far, it hasn't been.
$75, please. Top row, upper bowl. Minimum price, $75. What the fuck are you selling? It's not hope for the future. We're scratching young guys and sending them down.
You're selling third line left wing Jacob McDonald.
Hey, he had a couple shifts on the first line against the Penguins. And the fucked up party looked good.
Cap Friendly right now has their lineup penciled in for tonight as Eklund, Hurdle, Zetterlund.
Finally!
They might be able to get something going, thank God. Duclair, Granlund, and Hoffman, who have a combined 4 points on the season.
That's insane. Granlund's missed time with injury, but it's fucking nuts to me that Hoffman hasn't scored.
Yep. Third line, McDonald, Nico Sturm, and Kevin LeBanc. And a fourth line of Giovanni Smith, Ryan Carpenter, and Luke Cunningham, making $2 3/4 million.
The lines make sense. Just because McDonald has been playing as this huge physical dude, which is crazy. Like, he's been one of the most physical people, and he had to change positions. Nico Sturm is fantastic. I feel so bad for that guy. He's a fantastic fucking player, incredible two-way player. And then you got LeBanc, who's supposed to be the offensive player. Nico can probably have a bit of that. That line makes sense. Like, from a logistic standpoint and what you're trying to get on that line, they all kind of make sense, but there's zero production happening. And that's the hard part. I'm hoping, God, man, I need some production from Hurdle and Eklund because I don't want Quinn to blow that up after one game, because he will. He 100% will if they don't score. He's gonna do it. And as much as he said he doesn't worry about his job security, you fucking have to at this point. It's 11-game losing streak.
Yeah, you'd like to think he would be at least a little bit worried about it.
Yeah.
At this stage, like, how could you not be worried about it at this stage just based off of how bad it's been? Like, there's only so much you can give, only so much leeway you can give a coach, even when it's like, okay, we're going to be a bad team, before it's like, okay, we're too bad at this stage. Like, we shouldn't be this bad. This team is better than what we are seeing, and they should be. They absolutely should be, but they are not. So yeah, I wouldn't help but think like coaching is a massive part of the problem here.
The first domino that fell was that game against the Avalanche. Blackwood made 50 fucking saves, and we could only give him 1 goal in support. Avs win in overtime. That was the first domino. And after that, it just kept snowballing and spiraling out of control.
It's going to be a long season.
I'm still watching every fucking game. I committed to it. I don't fuck around. I hate it. But it can't get any worse, right? They can't do it 3 times in a row.
I need SFRs. I need Sharks fan reaction videos. I need recaps of these games on an individual basis. This could be your time. This could be your time. That could be the thing, as you become the Sharks Steve Dangle at this stage. It could be your time, because those types of channels are molded by the harsh times like this. So this could be your time, sir.
Yeah.
God.
But I've always thought about that. I've done things in the past with that. I used to react to Sharks videos on my channel. Sharks games, mostly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I stopped for a while because
it's tough.
It's tough because especially when I was much smaller at the time too. The majority of people coming in were like, it was. I mean, fuck me. The 2 of my biggest ones were when they lost to the Oilers and when they lost to Vegas. Those 2 different years, and new Vegas fan base, and they were fucking me up in the comments. Oilers run deep. Any Canadian team run fucking deep. They were fucking me up in the comments. Like, you're full of shit. It was a fluke that they won 7-2 that one game. Nah, the Oilers are just that good. Guess what? No, they're not, motherfuckers. But yeah,
they're so not good that we didn't even bother to talk about how shit they are, because we've spent a lot of time this season talking about how shit they are already.
So I don't know, maybe I do it. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if there's enough. There's I already feel like it's kind of saturated. Not the reaction so much, but there are quite a few like Sharks dedicated podcasts and other stuff like that. I feel like I get lost in it, but maybe I try it again. I was gonna make a video absolutely trashing on them after these 2 games, but I was like, at this point I gotta save it for the pod or else I'll be all out of juice. And I'm sure people were expecting me to go a little bit crazier, but I was very cognizant of Tougie's eardrums.
Appreciate that. I am still despite the fact that I don't drink, I still feel hungover at this stage.
Replenish those fluids, my boy.
Oh my God, dude, I have been chugging water and just doing my best to stay awake, and then just I hit the wall.